Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery. I think maybe I'm ready to start now. I don't know. We'll find out. Here I am. I'm feeling really creative today. I was doing some work on just some random stuff last night and playing around, and I'm hoping that I can kind of get a little bit of that energy going into my journal today. I have some very basic ideas of how to start this, and basically just gonna start by painting a background because I want to play with color today. And I don't know, I might just make a background and that would be okay. I think I'm gonna add some paint. I was gonna add some paint and then collage, but I think I'm gonna collage and then paint. I just decided that. And so I'm just gonna open up. I've been kind of going front to back in my journal here. You can see some of the stuff that I've already worked on. Maybe you've watched some of these videos. I hope you have. I have pretty much everything in here is a video that you can watch. This one is not. So look for that. These watercolor flowers, which I maybe need to go in and fix because they got wet. I don't know how my journals are always getting water spilled on them, but there you have it. Because this is a messy process around here. I'm just gonna open this up to a random page in the middle. Honestly, I think I'm gonna use the fact that I'm gonna try right here. This is good. This was from last year, the Farmer's Almanac. I was planting my garden and I printed this out, and now here it is. I am gonna put this here in the hopes, since I have said I'm gonna paint in here and do things, I'm gonna try and make this so that I don't get too much paint going on to other pages. Although I will say in the past I have had some torn edges along the edge and painted and then had them kind of get painted again and again on the pages underneath. It's very cool. Anyway, I am just kind of loose and crazy today, and I'm just gonna glue some stuff down out of my pile of stuff. I just raided my scrap pile. I don't know what's going on with this scrap. It's like folded in half. I'm just gonna collage where I want here today. This is gonna be kind of a more artsy kind of a thing. Hopefully, I don't know. Artsy and fun and creation of something. I don't have any. I'll probably start thinking about what I want to do. I was doing just some really loose, light sketching last night, and it was really nice and something I hadn't done for a little while, and it just came so easy. And I really loved it. I made this last night, and it's just a little tiny pamphlet fold thing, and I glued things off of my desk, and this is the sketches I was doing, and I colored them in. I'm just playing with some of the things that were on my desk. And here I am saving some scraps for later. I have to remember those are in there. Anyway. Very cool. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do some like drawing. I really like to do pen work and sketching, and not really sketching, doodling, and just black and white things and drawing little random things. And so, I don't know, maybe I'll do that today since I'm feeling like, but I really also wanted to play with some color, so. Ooh. What's going on there now like that since it ripped? Alright. I am probably not going to cover all of this page. Because I am going to paint over this, I really just kind of want to get some different textures going on and whatnot. Who knows what is in this pile? I seem to be thinking maybe just like book pages, text, just some leftover I was trying to think last night of things that I might like to draw, because I think everybody draws girls and everybody draws flowers. And those are the two things that like really kind of pop up because you see it all the time. And so I was thinking, well, what else? And then this morning I was watching an anime artist who posts on YouTube, and I don't know who it was, so don't ask. I actually just subscribed to her channel. Oh, anyway, she does lots of girls, mostly. So there's the answer for that. Those are your options. Girls and flowers. Maybe butterflies and dragonflies. Frogs? Here's a thing. So, so for a while, I was getting together with my sister and my nieces, and my mom would come too, and we were getting on Zoom because they live like kind of far away from me. And so we get on Zoom and we would choose an animal and we would just sketch the animal, and that was really cool. And I found this aardvark. I got the idea for doing this because we were again on a phone call and on a video chat, and they were reading a story to my youngest niece, and I was just loving the illustrated pictures in her book, and I was like, oh, I want to draw an aardvark. And so we got together and did this together, and we just all drew aardvarks, and I picked out some images and shared with them for just drawn aardvarks, and that was really, really fun. So I guess animals are always good things to sketch and fun to sketch too. And you can choose some really weird ones. I really love llamas, so we did llamas at one point. But I think that's really all we did. But you could do all your favorite animals, or just maybe find a random animal generator, or look at the zoo nearest to you and see what's on there. What's on the front of their webpage, and have a random animal generator that way. I'm just looking for different bits and pieces, and I'm going to fill this in. I'm not going to fill it in too much. I'm not going to fill it in all the way. I'm just kind of looking for a little bit of background, so this isn't so plain, and kind of break this up so it doesn't look so much like whatever. Just put that piece right in the middle. And then I wound up printing out the animals that I had chosen as examples for me to draw from. So it took a little bit of, you know, I looked for things that were drawings of aardvarks rather than real aardvarks. Certainly along with maybe, because it was easier and fun. That was fun. We should do that, something like that again. I don't know when they'd have time, because everybody's busy now. Everybody's just gotten super busy and moved on to other things. I did just send them my nieces. I have 2 nieces, and my family has a whole herd of boys. I have 2 boys. They're grown-up men. And I have 4 nephews, so my mom has 6 grandsons. And then at the very end of all of this, my sister had 2 little girls, so there's 2 nieces, and I have sent them journals, and I'm actually posting next week, which is probably actually on Tuesday. A flip through of the journals that I sent them, where I put some things in there. They were pretty empty journals, honestly. They're going to have to do a lot of work to fill them up. But I figure they can watch my channel and get ideas, right? Oh, look at this. This is really pretty. Look at that. How is this in scraps? We should do something with this. I don't know what this is. Okay. Anyway, beautiful things in my scrap pile. There are some really nice things in my scraps. So pretty. Okay. It must have been a piece of a masterboard. Don't know. Don't know. Because it's obviously glued onto a paper. Anyhow, hopefully we can get some paint on here and it looks as nice as that. I think I want something on the bottom of here. Maybe I don't. I'm really just kind of interested in like these old book pages and these things that are like really. It's just what I want. What I want. Okay. This is kind of empty. I want to fill in a little bit of this where it's kind of empty. I'm gonna keep going. Having said that, I wasn't really interested in filling in the whole thing. Right? But I do want there to kind of be some texture everywhere. I might put down some gesso on some of this. Ooh, we have things stuck to me. What is that? That's like a piece of a book I tore up. I'm gonna put this big piece down. I don't know where it's gonna go yet, but I'm gonna stick it on here. Just this big old piece. I'm ready to cover some ground. I want to reach for those paints right now, but I'm just also relaxing and enjoying this process of kind of gluing things in, gluing and gluing and gluing. And this is a piece, and it's already been collaged together, and it's a leftover from, I think, some rolling pages that I made. All this scrap pile becomes this great tale of things remembered and things forgotten. This is neutral enough. I'm going to put that on there. Let's see what happens. It's a pretty little piece. Pretty little piece. I'm going to put it over here because that side already has a little something, something, something there. And it's got some color. I am going to add some bright colors. So I was playing yesterday, and I've been playing with, like, I mean, look at this, like these aquas and these reds, and then this was paper that I made some die cuts out of, obviously, and these are the negatives from that, and it's just got all these pretty rainbow effect colors, and I'm kind of super excited to play with that and kind of add all these colors in. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this, and we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Okay, I can't wait now. I'm gonna jump in. Maybe I should remove the pile of scraps. Grab the paints, and we will get moving. I always love this paper. This is just some, like, tissue paper that something came packed in. I don't remember what. And I love this so much. It's gone into, I think I have pages in a journal. I wonder if that's, I don't know where it got. It got put away somewhere, and I've got to go find it. Because I kind of started it, and I put a lot of time and effort into it, and then I think it was around Christmas time, and I had some time off from work, and I was doing this, and then obviously that ended, and it was supposed to be an outdoor nature journal, and I was going to pick it back up in the spring, and I never did. And now years later I'm thinking about it, and I have time now, and I've been out collecting and pressing leaves, and I need to go find that journal, so that's fun. I have some gesso, and it's not here, and I could use white paint instead, but I'm going to go find some kind of actual gesso. Be right back. Alright, so the only white gesso I could find was this Dina Weekly that I have, and it's small, and I'm going to have to buy some more. And I'm kind of, honestly, a little bit scared too, because I just, like, everything, I'm just applying this straight onto the page. And I'm going to put it in just a few spots, not really everywhere. And Oh, this is gel medium anyway. Well, we're having gel medium. That's what we're doing now. That's not what we wanted. Now I'm wasting things. Because I can't read the bottles. I'm reaching over here for my paintbrushes. Checking to make sure I got water, which I did. I'm gonna just use a big brush, I guess. Crinkly-winkly-dinkly-doo. Okay, so gel medium. We'll see what happens. That should be fine. Everything's getting wrinkly. Well, now we're experimenting. I do have a bottle of gesso. This will be fine. It'll at least hold everything down so it's not going to peel up. At least there'll be that. So I'm going to go back and add a little bit of white paint now. And I think I'm going to water it down a little bit. In lieu of, and I'm actually just going to stick this paintbrush in the water. And I guess it's white paint for us instead of gesso. I'm just going to add this around to the edges a little bit to kind of cover some of that up a little bit. I don't want to get too much. I want it to peek through. That's kind of the idea here. I want it to add texture. I want it to now I'm gonna put on some color, and I really want to play with teal and I want to play with red, and I'm probably gonna add the red has never been opened. Some of these paints have never been opened. So I'll probably go red and pink and teal, but I'm really loving the way that the red and the teal work together. Teal is such a fun color because it really does add, you can pair it with a lot of colors. And I've had a lot of fun playing with, like, those are kind of the same. I kind of want, I don't know, this is aqua. This is turquoise. I'm not really sure what color I want here. I really like the way the aqua and the red look together. And then I want some yellow. Do we want bright yellow? Why not? Why not? I also have this kind of more buttery ivory yellow, which would be lovely too, and maybe more appropriate for this. I'm going to use up all of this, and if I don't use it on here, I have some paper here that I can kind of use my to keep things lively. I'm probably going to add a little bit of black too. I don't know. We shall see. And I was actually thinking, wow, that white did dry not super. This paper is very thin because it is just copy paper that I'm working on. fingers crossed, I think the paint, once it dries, will hold everything together. That's what I'm hoping. Just hoping for a sheet of paint. Of course, another thing I could have done is I could have done this on like some actual mixed media paper and then glued it into my book. I may regret not doing that, but hey, let's roll with it and find out what happens. This is all experimental anyway. Is what I was going to do was I just kind of want to scrape the paint on with this card because I want it to look really kind of grungy and perfect. Perfect, perfect. Love it. And I think I'm just going to kind of continue from there, like across the page, up into this other corner with the red. I love it. I love how this looks like it's very worn. That was exactly what I wanted. I like it a lot. Okay. Probably always a good idea to start not with the darkest colors, but with the lightest colors. Maybe could have added the yellow first, but hey, we'll add it over the top. It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried, I'm just doing stuff. I am just doing stuff today. I hope you can see me just having fun, not worrying about whether or not this was the right thing to do. Just going to add some color wherever it feels right, and that's what I'm into today. I'm just playing around with this, having a great time. Add a little white over the top. Add a little white and a little aqua, I guess, at the same time. It's great if it kind of bleeds over onto the red. That is just fine with us. I actually think I'm ready for some yellow. I'm gonna put the yellow in the corners. Great tool. If you haven't used it, save up your cards. HelloFresh. I don't know, do they still send cards? I haven't seen one in a long time. Any old plastic card. I suppose you could use like a stiff piece of cardboard for this too. It might work. I just wanted to really play with mixing all these bright colors and getting something fun and exciting and kind of grungy going on. And at least I have now, if nothing else, kind of covered up my page. So I now have something of a background to work on, and I like it. I really like working with the camera like this because I can kind of turn and look at this from a different point of view than just sitting here looking at it. And I really, if you see something as you're working, once in a while it's a good idea to get up and kind of walk away and then come back and look at it again, because I think, especially, I get caught up in like all these little details, and I'll be like, this spot right here where it's kind of wrinkling and I can't get it and it doesn't look like what I want, and you get like super involved in just like this one thing and trying to fix this one detail and super hyper focused on it, and you kind of lose sight, I think I do at least, of the whole big picture. And I find it just really helpful to step away and go get a snack, take a walk, whatever, let your paint dry, and then come back and look at it. And I think that, like, I have to look at the camera over there, and it gives me a whole different perspective of what I'm looking at. I love this. This is super easy and fast and fun and wonderful to do. And now I think I might just go right into adding some black. And I'm just going to add some black details over the top of this, and that should be great. I'm just using, like, these are just cheap craft paints that I bought at my local craft store, and they were not super expensive. And I think I'm just going to make some big old brush marks like that in the black to start out with. Over here, just kind of dotting them on there to add to this kind of grungy look we've got going on. And then I might just paint down the corner of this in a really kind of like painty kind of way. Not neat, just there. I love borders. I really just love making borders of some sort or another. Now it looks like a container to me. I like it. Drawing inside the lines now. There you go. That's the message here. Drawing inside the lines. Okay. So we have some feeling of splattering. Mark making. Just kind of making some marks. You should make some of these with white as well. It is bright. Love it. That's exactly what I wanted. I might go back now again with the white and just kind of make some of this less bright, just in some places. Picking up the yellow, so everything's going to turn yellow now. And just kind of cover some of this up. Make it look a little more grunge, a little more just random, really. Apparently I don't like the yellow. I keep going into the yellow and doing this with yellow. And because it's not super dry, just working this in. It's kind of mixing together. Making gray. Imagine that. sure. I thought I had a paper towel, but apparently I don't. Okay, fantastic with that. This is some white acrylic paint. It's watered down a little bit, and it's in this fine tip bottle. So I can do things like that. And I think I'm just gonna do some more mark making. Around. Wonder if that will do. We can do that. If you want any words, you can do those with this. I'm just trying to think of some symbols that I've used in the past. To add a little bit of something. Well, I think it's really kind of a neat background so far. What will we do with it next? Look at how green this came out. Wow. Okay. I think okay, hold on for a second. I guess we could do some texture making, but I don't really want to do that. Because what I want to do is find some way to make like a big focal point on here. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to let that all dry. Alright, so I thought about it a little bit, and I decided to get out this stencil that I have. I have clearly used it before. This is from StencilGirl Products. Fabulous, fabulous stencils if you want to check them out. Really fun. And I am going to use this on here. This is still wet. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this on here. She's got music notes in her hair. I think this is so bright and so vibrant. I just kind of want to like say this is really just kind of screaming to me like be loud. And so I thought about it a little bit, and I decided this is what I really want to do. I might hold this down. So I have this crackle paste that I'm gonna use to put on here and apply this evenly. over the wet paint. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. This will give it a little bit of, this is not crackle paste, this is flexible modeling paste. So this will stay flexible and should shouldn't crack or peel off since this is in a book. And I have some, and I'm just gonna smooth it right over the top of this and fill that in and try and get it relatively smooth. That's my job here. Ew, that's fine. That is fine. And what I generally do is I color this in. If I want to color it and add some color, I'll do that after it is set. Or you can just leave it white, or you could color it in. You can also mix some ink or some tint into this and make a colored modeling paste to use right onto your page. But like I said, if I decide to color it in, I'm just going to color it in after the fact. And now I am just using the flat part of this to kind of really smooth this out so there's not bumps in it, and it's a little bit difficult given the fact that this is not perfectly straight to begin with. This page is just screaming out to me that it wants to be called Be Loud. Right? Live your life. Be bold. Be brave. Life is too short to not go after what you want. That is what this is saying to me. It's really not going away, but I want it to go over her face. I think that is as good as it's going to get. Okay. And then I went over it again. Ha! That's just a bait area there. To get it as smooth as I want. Oh no, it's getting sticky. Patience, 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 I think is what the key is here. And maybe knowing when to quit. I think this is why in that thing where she does this on those shorts, She's doing art journaling pages. I think this is why she just does a tiny bit of this and not trying to transfer an entire image with good modeling paste. She's smarter than I. Is it getting better or worse? Oh wait, there. And now if it's not, the stencil keeps coming up, so I'm afraid it's gonna. I have done this before, and I don't remember it being this hard. Okay. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off and see what we've done. The only thing I'm worried about is that I have now pushed it underneath the stencil, so it's not going to be neat on the edges. Fabulous. There I had a little bit of paper pulled up because I did, but I think overall that went really well. Let me go clean my stencil off. I'll be right back. something. Although I feel like that's something we I'm gonna let this dry. There's a little bit of damage here. I will probably color this in to make it stand out a little bit, because I was like going back to, like I said, I think it'll look better in black. So I'll probably paint over it after it's done in black. I think it'll stand out and pop more, but I like it a lot. What do you think about giving this some sort of a title or something over here? Or big words. I think I like, I think I'm just gonna use the words "be loud," and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do the lettering. I also got this stencil out. I was thinking I could do some stenciling over the top of this, but I don't know that it really needs it. Let's think about this. And while we're doing that, let's find where I put my big old stack of paper that I had out specifically for the purpose of using up my paint. I think we're done with the paint for the most part. Unless I decide that I want to use that for the I will make this into background paper later. So I just want to not waste my paint, because that's still fun, and I like having fun. So this is definitely a lot more fun than wasted paint. And once I'm done with this, I could just take this and I might just go ahead and glue this once it's dry right into my book on another page, so that I can have something already done and ready to go. I was actually thinking I was going to put that on a different page altogether. Oh, look at that. I'm using up all of my pages at once. That did not come out as orange as I thought it was going to. Tell you what, it looks a lot better on the camera than it does in real life. This looks like it's purple cool. It's really cool purple color, and like while I'm looking at it right now, it just looks not great. On the camera, it looks a lot different. Okay, well, isn't that fun? Look at that. I love painting. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put the black on a separate page, although I did say always get new. It's not gonna be lasting. This is cool. Okay, so I just love this, like dries almost instantly because you just scrape it out super thin. I love the way it goes on. I think I might be able to get a little more red. I just love the way it looks. Well, that was a fun side project. Just saving all our paint to make something else. I might save this and add more paint to it later. Beautiful. Look at how green this came out. I'm gonna just stick this in my book after I'm done and let that be another start to another page. And this I'm gonna probably add to my Halloween journal stuff because I'm collecting stuff right now to make a Halloween journal, and it is gonna be really cool and really fun, and I have lots of scary things in there, and I'll just pull it out at Halloween time and scare people with it. This is still drying. This is going to need to dry for a little bit. So I'm going to figure out what I want to do for lettering, and I really do like the idea of just saying "be loud," and I think I am just going to want to say painted in black. I have an idea. I'm going to add some colored papers. Let me go find some stuff. Got it. Okay. So I have all these colors of cardstock, which may or may not match this, but that's okay. I think they'll be fine. I did try to get blues and greens, and there's this random purple, and I'm just going to put the title on this. So I'm going to cut out one bit of this for each letter. They might look good letter, like layered. We'll see. Making lots of scraps out of my bigger pieces of cardstock. That's okay. That's what it's for. Let's use it all up. Just cutting kind of random shapes. Still something like a square. I have the idea that I could leave that one bigger for some reason. Okay. Okay. So this will be the B. today with some white on here for fun, right? I was doing this. I also have some, like, I have a lot of letter stickers, and I could have gone and found some, like, letter stickers. I was thinking that after I had kind of started this already. So there's that. But I don't know. I really like doing lettering, so there's that. Love to do lettering, so I love the way this kind of came out. Honestly, I think it's gonna be cool. I don't know that it really matches, and you know what? That is not what this page is about. This page is about letting it go and not worrying about what matches and just making something. That's what this page is about. Just letting it all go. I'm not worried about nothing. Okay. And then, now that I've made some white, I'm gonna go and make some black. And just make this kind of stand out ever just a little bit. Just a little bit. Black and then white. A little black there. There you go. I wonder if I'll be very super loud for the rest of the day, at least. Until I'm not. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. I'll check back. Ask me if I was loud after this. I was afraid I forgot to record because the other day I was making a video and I think I turned it off when I thought I was turning it back on, and missed a whole bunch, and I had to go back and re-record it, and but this is recording, so that's good, and this would be fun because I would not mind re-recording this at all. Because what I do think is my crackle paste is drying very slowly over there. I should go put it outside. It's supposed to be very hot today. And you can hear right now that I did not turn off the air conditioner this morning, and it is blowing on my shoulders and making a lot of noise in my microphone, so hopefully that's not absolutely killing you guys, but it's keeping me in my chair and not sweating and not swearing, because I probably would be if it was that hot. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, I love this idea. Okay. I love this idea. Bring this back over. She is drying. She is still wet in her face. But do I have room for these? Where are we gonna put it? That is a good question. because now I might have to cut this up. And I might cut or fold that so it goes there. Just trialing this out now. This piece is kind of small. I feel like that needs to come like that. Okay. That one's easy. We can just glue that one together. Not too bad. That could be like that. How does it look with the colors? Looks great with the colors, right? Yes. Okay. Is that where you want it? Do our check on the camera. Yeah. I think that will work. I think so. I actually think this L is a little dark, and that's really the only thing I'm super worried about. The purple, I think, is a little muted, but you know, again, I'm not worrying about stuff today. I'm just doing it, so there's all that. So I'm just gonna start gluing this together. One of the things I think about this is that this really does make the like lettering be the center point, which I'm okay with. I'll work on this once she's dry and giving her some more color, and maybe she'll pop a little bit more. But I'm also, ooh, let's put that lid on there tight before we forget and come back and are very disappointed when that's all ruined. If I were a little bit of glue, where would I be? I might go back and try and lighten up that blue just a little bit more so it doesn't blend in entirely. Look at that. Okay. This feels like it has a very 1950s vibe. Maybe it's this pink and maybe it's the pink and the shapes, but it just is really saying like 1950s, 1950s. That's what it's saying to me. What can I do with this so that it is not quite so just dark blue? Da, 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 da. Right? Yeah. Maybe I'll just leave it. I might just leave it. I think it's gonna be fine. I could change it. It wouldn't be that difficult to just actually get another sheet of paper and change it. But I think it doesn't match the other ones. Not that we care. We should have just dug through our pile of scraps instead of making more scraps, essentially. Right? Eh. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. Because, as I have stated, I don't want to mess with it. I like it the way it is, and I don't want to mess with it. what I need to do with this is make a cut here and then just attach it like it was one piece to go into the fold of my book. And I've now lost my scissors, which are, I'm pretty sure, underneath here. So if I decide where I want you, and the only thing is I don't want to cut, I'm going to move it over far enough so that only the D is going down. Oh, I'll put the rest of the letters over here. I can actually give it a little bit of a gap, which is going to be fine. It's going to be just fine. I am so just ecstatic about getting to play with these colors today and kind of follow my just having the time to do this. And like I was thinking yesterday, I just really kind of wanted to continue to play in these colors because I had this, paper out that I was playing with. That's a scrapbooking paper. And it's just so pretty, and it's got all these bright colors. Did I show it to you, the inspiration for all these color play today? And to just be able to have the time in such a crazy world to sit here and take this time to really kind of just play with the colors that I want to play with. I'm just so happy and grateful to be able to do that today. And thank you if you're still here hanging out with me, watching this, or playing along. I hope you're crafting along and doing your own thing. And I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. It's just such a great and wonderful thing to be able to have a little bit of self-expression and take time to do some creative play. It just makes such a huge difference in my life. And I am really grateful for all of you who come out and support my channel just by watching, and I want to say thank you for that. I just wanted to let you know that I'm really grateful for each and every little person who watches this. I wonder if I'm going to be loud for the rest of the day. Maybe, maybe not. This is getting dry. Slowly. You can see that envelope has really come up through that crackle, or I keep calling it crackle paste because I was using crackle paste the other day. This is just modeling paste. Probably what I will do is do a little bit more to kind of bring these letters out. Ew, it's got glue seeping down there. Okay. I love that. Okay. You can see where I was saying she's definitely got some like envelope print on her face. You can see it over here too. It's kind of cool. That really has come up through that paper. Very interesting. What are we going to do with this? This is still wet. I might get out the paint dryer and just dry this really quick and see if I can't get it done so I can add a little bit of color, a little bit more color than she already has, just to this piece. I'm either going to do black, and I'm also thinking maybe gold, but I think that once I kind of work through that, I'm going to leave the rest of this page the way that it is. And more or less be done with that. I might add some speckles. I might flick some paint on this. That'll be fun. What do you think? Do you think it's done? Do you think it needs more? Hold on while I dry this. I hope this video is not a 12-hour video. I'm just going to use black acrylic paint again. I am going to use a relatively fine but not too fine brush to do this and see how that goes. And we'll see how it goes. I've watered it down a little bit. This is not as smooth as maybe we wanted it. Mainly, I just don't think if I had to do this over, probably thinking I might, just might, rather than trying to paint over the top of this, which is going to prove to be somewhat more difficult than we would like, I think. I would have probably, rather than doing this, have just put some pigment ink into here. But, you know, you live, you learn. I guess, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. If it's not, we'll cover it up. It might take more than one coat. Fairly certain that I've seen people do something like this and just do like a whitewash over the top, or a wash and not worry about it getting onto the background so much. But that's not what we're doing here. Oh, it's got a big hair. And the question I'm asking myself is, why don't I just go grab the stencil, put it back over the top of this, paint it that way? Why indeed, that might be a good idea. This was a fairly fantastic exercise. This is a very meditative exercise. Thank you guys for joining me today. Again, super really appreciate it. I hope that you had fun. I hope that this has inspired you to play with some color and make your mark and to be loud and just let your voice be heard. That's kind of where I'm at with this today. I am looking, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of white on here, and I think I'm gonna call this pretty done. Let's get that a little bit of wet white, some runny white. I'm gonna just put some splatters on this. You know, why not? I had so much fun just kind of following whatever inspiration I had, starting with just really wanting to play with some bright, loud colors. And I really had a great time playing around today. I hope that you did too. I hope you're still here. I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and share. And get out there and play. Play in your journals, pull them out, and have some fun. I will see you next time at Scrap Craft and Stitchery. Until then, scrap happy. Bye!